A camping trip in the wintertime or snowshoeing. This is pretty much for anywhere up to minus 20 degrees Celsius. So the first thing I pack is 4 pairs of socks in varying thicknesses. I start with 2 thin socks and then gradually getting thicker. So this is a medium and this is a pretty thick one. And for extreme cases I always bring an Icelandic pair of socks. It's pretty heavy duty. The next base layer, I use a wool, pretty thin wool base layer. Keeps you dry, dries quickly when it's wet. If you get a little bit colder, you can get the polyester middle weight liner as well. I take a fleece balaclava. I always wear a wool sweater. I don't like fleece or synthetics. I find wool to be the best insulator. I wear a pair of Mountain Equipment Co-op polyester overpants, kind of like snow pants, snowboard pants. They kind of keep you dry, they repel water, and they dry quickly. I use a Marmot synthetic as well for a jacket. It's polyester fill. It dries really quickly, and it actually does a good job of keeping the wind out as well. It's a Marmot. Really soft, you can press it. I do take a fleece with me, just in case. It's kind of a tight woven Polar Tech fleece from Marmot as well. Kind of fits the hood of the jacket. I really like it. It's kind of like just a backup. As for kind of tools you'll need, the only tools I really bring to eat with are a spoon and 1 cup. I use all dehydrated, kind of freeze-dried food. I use a mech or an MSR reactor to cook my food with. It's pretty light. It's not quite as light as the Jetboil, but I like the reliability of it. It does probably the best job. It's most reliable because it doesn't burn out in the wind. I take a saw with me. Just a cheap $10 saw, Canadian Tire. It's lasted me 3 years. When it wrecks, I'll just buy a new one. Pretty good for cutting, pieces of wood up to that big, for your campfire. Excellent saw. I always bring fire starter. It's just kind of like that stuff you find in any hardware store. Works really well when it's wet and cold. It burns instantly and pretty much get any fire going. I use a buck knife. I kind of swear by these. I don't like the fold-up ones. I kind of like something sturdy, something with a really thick blade at the back. Good grip. It'll also protect you if an animal comes after you or something. It's kind of my favorite tool. For my flashlight, I use a Pelican. It's probably the most heavy-duty Pelican they make. Super bright, takes 4 batteries, but it is phenomenally good. It's waterproof, and I like it above and beyond all those other LEDs. This will probably have doubled the luminance of a typical LED. I bring 1 set of hand warmers and toe warmers with me, just kind of as a backup. I don't really use them. If you wear contacts and you want to keep your contact solution liquid during the cold, I usually put one of these in my down jacket with the solution and stuff and cover it up, and it keeps it warm, probably by the morning it's fairly warm. I use a Garmin Oregon 450T for a GPS. It works really great for keeping track of everything, where you've been, how far you've gone, the time of day, everything. It's pretty much, when your cell phone doesn't work, this is kind of everything you need except cell reception. I carry a basic first aid kit. Very basic, small, lightweight, waterproof. You can get this for about $6. It's pretty much all you need for an overnight or even a 3-day trip. You don't need anything else. I take 6 feet of tin foil. I pack it up really small. It's good for cooking on the fire if you have anything you want to cook, or just anything like safety. It could come in handy if you need to keep something. For my boots, I use a Pelican, a Baffin, kind of like a Sorel boot for snowshoeing. It's warm, and even when it's wet, it stays pretty dry. I like them. They're warm, I prefer this to the hiking boot just because of at night when you're standing around by the campfire it gets a little cold, and these do the job. Especially when you can regulate the different types of socks and the layers, it does a good job. I bring a little hand towel with me all the time. It's good. You can actually dry your whole body with this if you need to, and it's small, and if it gets wet you can dry it out by the fire. Just kind of something instead of bringing a full-size towel. I use a Gregory backpack. It's fairly new to me. I used a cheap one for a lot of years and it took its toll on my shoulders, and I've used this a few times and it's perfect. It balances the weight on your hips nicely, and it holds up well. It's got tons of pockets and everything like that. I will go into more detail on that in my next video. Thank you for watching.